Alright, in this video I'm going to show you guys an older project that you have seen before that I am currently in the process of updating and modernizing. So this is my AK104 clone based on an Arsenal SLR 107 CR, and this is an SBR. Has roughly a 12 or 12.5 inch barrel. I forget the exact measurement, but you guys have seen this rifle before in my previous video on the AK104, where it was much more basic. It just had the plastic factory handguards, the regular pistol grip, the stock trigger, and I've gone through and upgraded a few things to make this a little more usable for the type of shooting that I do, particularly with outfitting it for night vision accessories. So, starting on the front, we have the Zenitco B31 rail set. So it's the B31S top rail and the B31 lower rail. And if you know anything about Zenitco rails, they are very good quality and they are used pretty predominantly by Russian Special Forces. Recently, they've gotten kind of hard to find in the US, or at least quite a bit more expensive to source for whatever reason. So I did manage to track down a set of these along with this PK6. They call it a hand stopper. It's like an abbreviated foregrip that does not interfere with removing the magazine from an AK. So the cool thing about this handguard, and what made me want to go with this style in particular, is along with the fact that I can outfit it with night vision accessories pretty easily, the B33 dust cover top rail actually integrates directly into it. So you can see these two flathead screws here on both sides. This dust cover actually integrates directly into the rail and gives it a really strong anchor point for your optic mount. So it's extremely sturdy, very, very little wobble, if any at all. And when you snap it down, it is rock solid. So it should give a pretty reasonable return to zero. Not that I really clean my AK very often, or any of my AKs, but when I do clean them, I should get a reasonable return to zero with my optic. So the optic that I've gone with is an EOTech EXPS 3-0. So again, it's night vision compatible. This is a full co-witness mount rather than a lower 1/3 co-witness, and the reason that I went with that is because the AK stock already is quite a bit lower than the optic rail, and I didn't want to create a super high optic mount where I couldn't even get a cheek weld. In the future, I am actually going to be swapping out this stock for probably a Zenitco stock with an adjustable cheek riser. So that will be in part 2 of this series, where I finish updating the rifle with that and a couple other small add-ons. And then when all is said and done, I am going to paint the rifle. And so if you guys are interested in seeing another painting video, I have one on my channel already, but if you want to see my process for painting this rifle, then let me know down in the comments section. So last couple little upgrades that I've done to this rifle. I did do a US Palm pistol grip. I'm a big fan of these for AKs. They're comfortable. The angle is, just about perfect. I wish they had a little more texture to them, a little more grip, but nothing that a little skateboard tape can't solve. So, and finally, I did the ALG Defense AKT trigger. So if you have messed with these triggers before, you'll know that they're pretty easy to install. They take a little bit of filing to get the safety mechanism to work perfectly. Essentially, you want to get it to where when you have this in safe, the trigger does not move at all. You can see mine just barely has the tiniest bit of movement to it, but that allows the safety lever to pass over the trigger without any interference. But when you have it in safe, it completely blocks the trigger. When you put it in fire, it's a super short, super light take-up. So if you're going the modern route with an AK, I definitely recommend the AKT. It is a fantastic trigger. And then finally, the magazines that I'm running are genuine Russian AK103 magazines. They're not the cheapest, but they are, in my opinion, the gold standard for a modern 7.62 by 39 magazine. They have a strong composite polymer body and steel reinforced front and rear lips, along with the feed lips. So, oh, and before I forget to mention it, I do have a suppressor for this rifle. You guys have seen this before. This is my Dead Air Wolverine PBS-1. I do think for AKs, this does bring a lot to the table in terms of, ease of mounting to the rifle, and it's an extremely durable suppressor. It is rated for full auto 7.62 by 5.4R with no barrel restriction. So, I mean, it is quite literally built like a tank. This adds a ton of weight to the front of the rifle, so I will probably periodically run this on the rifle, but more than likely I'm just going to run a flash hider most of the time because the rifle balances much, much better with it. And of course, the rifle is very compact with the stock folded and no suppressor. Anyway, in part 2, I will show you guys the other upgrades that I have on the way for this gun. And then, like I said, if you guys want to see me paint this rifle, just let me know down below in the comments section. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram, where you can see all of my updates to this and my other projects in real time. And thank you guys for watching.